Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Today, we're not just, scanning the headlines. We're really aiming to unpack them,
Hmm.
to reveal the deeper stories, maybe find some surprising connections, and figure out what they actually mean for you.
Exactly.
And our sources today are, well, they're incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
They really span the whole human experience, I think.
Yeah, quite a range.
We've got everything from the strategic plays on a cricket field all the way back to ancient human history.
Right.
And in between, geopolitical tensions shaping nations, and even a truly astonishing incident involving a toddler and a cobra.
That one is certainly something. And our mission with this deep dive is precisely that.
Yeah.
To try and distill some crucial insights, maybe some surprising facts from these really diverse current events.
Hmm.
We want to offer you a genuine shortcut, if you will, to being truly well-informed, but without that overwhelming information overload that, can often hide the bigger picture.
That is definitely the goal. We've gathered, a stack of incredibly diverse headlines
Yeah.
that genuinely cover so much ground. Right. From the intensity you find in a sports arena to the quiet reflection happening in a classroom, and like you said, even back to the earliest moments of human existence.
It's a broad sweep.
So let's start unearthing these stories. Let's unpack this. Okay, first up, we're diving into some high drama unfolding on the cricket pitch.
Oh, yes, the England-India series.
Exactly. Picture this. Day 4 of the fourth test at Old Trafford. It's a really crucial point in the series.
Very high stakes.
And India found themselves in an absolutely dire situation. I mean, really up against
They
it.
did. That first innings deficit was huge.
Colossal. 311 runs. That's a monumental challenge for any team to even think about overcoming.
Especially in England.
Right. And then adding to that immense pressure, they found themselves reeling at 0 for 2 very early in their second innings.
Ooh, yeah.
It just felt like one of those moments where the curtain was about to fall.
Yeah.
Game over.
It absolutely felt critical. And England's Chris Wokes, who'd already had a brilliant first innings with the ball,
He was on fire.
he really was. He just tore through India's top order, removing their key openers, Yashasvi Jaiswal and Saisut Harsan.
In consecutive deliveries.
Yes, back to back. It felt like a blink and you miss it kind of sequence.
Wow.
And the psychological blow of that, losing 2 wickets without a single run on the board, especially after conceding such a massive first innings lead, that could easily trigger a complete collapse. You see teams just crumble under that kind of relentless pressure.
Oh, absolutely. You expect the floodgates to open. But what followed was, well, it was a testament to some extraordinary resilience, actually.
It really was.
You had KL Rahul, who finished the day unbeaten on a solid 87 not out,
Great innings under pressure.
and Shubman Gill, also not out, at 78. They put together what you can only describe as a truly disciplined, defiant partnership.
Mm-hmm. Our real rearguard action.
They put on an unbeaten 174 runs, and get this, over a grueling 63 overs.
That's a lot of time at the crease.
I mean-
Serious concentration.
Exactly. That's a significant amount of time spent out there,
Yeah.
patiently facing down a strong English bowling attack that was, absolutely hunting for a quick victory at that point.
They must have smelled blood.
For sure. So their stand really showcased the team's grit, their determination against a challenging English side that was undoubtedly sensing an imminent series win.
And the strategic significance of that resistance, it really can't be overstated.
Right.
I mean, while India's hopes of actually salvaging a draw in the test are still, let's be honest, incredibly slim.
Very slim, yeah.
This partnership has, at the very least, delayed England's seemingly inevitable march toward that series victory.
Bought them some time.
Exactly. It's kept India's, theoretical hopes of survival alive, even if it's just by the thinnest of threads. And in Test cricket, that matters.
It does.
Buying time, wearing down the opposition's bowlers, demonstrating that fighting spirit even when the odds are stacked against you, that's incredibly important. It really speaks volumes about the character of the team.
And speaking of character and significant individual performances, we absolutely have to talk about England's talismanic all-rounder, Ben Stokes.
Oh, absolutely. His match so far has been phenomenal.
His first innings was just nothing short of extraordinary. With the ball, first 5 wickets for just 72 runs.
Brilliant figures. Crucial breakthroughs.
An exceptional performance that really restricted India's scoring. And then, with the bat,
Captain's knock.
a spirited 141. His first test century in over 2 years.
Yeah, it had been a while for him in tests.
And this wasn't just, ticking off 100. It was a century under immense pressure against a good bowling attack that really just catapulted England into such a dominant position.
And what's even more remarkable about Stokes's performance, if you put it into historical context,
Okay.
he became only the fourth England player ever to score 100 and claim a 5-wicket haul in the same test match.
Wow, only the fourth. That's elite company.
Truly elite company. Think legends of the game. His innings was absolutely crucial in England, posting that mammoth total of 669.
669, yeah.
Which is actually their third highest test score ever at home.
Incredible.
That, combined with Joe Root's impressive 150 as well.
Can't forget Root.
No, that created the daunting lead that India then had to confront.
But then there was a twist, wasn't there? Stokes' absence from bowling in India's second innings.
Right. That was noticeable.
He didn't deliver a single ball. Potentially, people are saying, due to fitness concerns after that incredibly strenuous first innings performance.
Makes sense. He bowled 28 overs.
Yeah, and then batted for a very long time, scoring that 141.
That kind of all-round effort takes a huge toll, and that absence, while maybe necessary for his own physical well-being, it had a palpable impact, I think, on England's bowling attack in the second innings.
How so?
Well, without his energy, his sort of unique ability to generate breakthroughs seemingly out of nowhere.
That knack he has.
Exactly. And just the sheer penetration he offers. England's bowlers did seem to lack that vital cutting edge, especially as the ball got older, softened up, and the pitch itself started to flatten out, becoming less responsive for the faster bowlers.
Right. Conditions changing.
So that changing conditions, combined with the absence of Stokes's relentless pressure, it inadvertently helped India's valiant resistance. It allowed Rahul and Gill to really settle in and build that crucial partnership.
Interesting.
It just highlights how one individual's performance, or indeed their absence, can dramatically shift the dynamics of a 5-day test match.
It really does. And, beyond the sheer statistics and the tactical shifts, there was such a powerful emotional moment, too.
Ah, yes, when he got the 100.
When Stokes reached his century, that heartfelt salute to his late father.
Very moving.
It added such a rich, poignant, personal narrative layer to the match. It reminds you that even in professional sports, behind every score, behind every wicket, there are deeply human stories playing out. It really adds to the whole spectacle.
Absolutely. And if we connect this back to the broader picture of Test cricket,
Yeah.
individual brilliance like Stokes's performance, or that collective grit shown by India's partnership between Rahul and Gill, that's what truly shapes the narrative of an entire series.
It's the story, isn't it?
It is. Even if India ultimately faces a defeat in this specific match, which looks likely, the spirited resistance changes that story. It prevents it from being a complete and demoralizing capitulation.
Right. It's not a rollover.
Exactly. Instead, it instills potentially a renewed sense of pride and fighting spirit within the team. And that can be foundational for future performances down the line, for team morale, and also for how they're perceived by their fans, by their rivals. Even a strong fight in a losing cause can be incredibly significant. It signals that this team isn't just going to lie down. They're not to be underestimated.
So what does this all mean for the future of the series then, and maybe for the spirit of Indian cricket moving forward from this?
Well, it could be crucial.
This kind of fight, even in potential defeat, it can be a crucible, right? Forging a more resilient team identity that will serve them well in upcoming challenges. It might even redefine their perceived resilience for seasons to come.
Could definitely be a turning point in mindset, yeah.
Okay, from the strategic plays on the cricket field, let's now turn our attention to the classroom. But with a strong contemporary dose of geopolitics mixed in.
Interesting combination.
Yeah, we're talking about a pretty significant educational policy shift by India's National Council for Education Research and Training, INSERT, as they're known.
Right, the body that sets the curriculum.
Exactly. They're introducing 2 brand new educational modules, and the focus is on something called Operation Sindoor.
Operation Sindoor, okay.
And these are designed for students right across the board, from classes 3 all the way up to 12.
So quite a wide age range. Yeah, and what's really fascinating here, I think, is this deliberate, quite strategic shift toward integrating real-world geopolitical developments and national security narratives directly into classroom learning.
It seems quite direct.
It is. NSERT's intent, as they've clearly stated, is to enhance students' awareness of India's military strength and its strategic responses to terror threats.
Okay.
Now, this isn't entirely unprecedented for NSERT. They do have a history of supplementing their standard textbooks with thematic content on contemporary issues.
Right. I've heard of those supplementary modules.
Yeah, in fact, by June 2025, they'd already published 16 such modules on quite diverse topics. Things like Viksit Bharat, that's developed India, Nari Shakti Vandan, saluting women power, the G20 summit, Chandrayaan Utsav celebrating the moon mission.
So a range of current topics.
Exactly. So this Operation Sindoor module fits into that larger, evolving pedagogical trend of trying to make education more current, more contextually relevant, and, deeply connected to national achievements and national challenges.
Okay, so tell us about Operation Sindoor itself. What's the historical event these modules are based on?
Right. It was launched as a direct response to a specific horrific event, the Pahalgam terror attack.
Ah, I remember that. Tragic.
Yes, an act of terrorism that tragically claimed 26 civilian lives. India's response, Operation Sindoor, was swift, it was decisive, and it was multifaceted.
What did it involve?
Well, the operation involved targeting 9 specific terror and military sites located in Pakistan and also in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, or POK.
9 sites.
Yes, over an intensive 4-day period. And crucially, this wasn't just a limited strike. India utilized a really broad array of military assets.
Okay.
Advanced fighter jets, precision missiles, surveillance drones, long-range weapons, heavy artillery. It was a comprehensive and very calibrated response, clearly designed to send an unequivocal message.
Okay, a significant military operation then.
Indeed. And the decisive outcome of this operation was later underscored quite publicly by India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh.
What did he say?
He stated that the offensive was so impactful, so effective, that it actually led to Pakistan requesting a ceasefire.
Pakistan requested the ceasefire.
According to the defense minister, yes. And that statement was seen as highly significant. It signaled India's firm, decisive stand against cross-border terrorism. It showcased not just a clear demonstration of military capability, but also, importantly, a strong national resolve on the diplomatic front as well.
Right.
So the modules, in effect, are designed to convey the specific narrative, a narrative of a strong, decisive, and strategically adept India.
So how are they actually structuring these modules? How do you teach something like this to, say, an 8-year-old versus a 17-year-old?
That's a key challenge, and they've addressed it by tailoring the content.
Okay.
There's one module specifically designed for the younger students, classes 3 to 8, and then there's a more detailed, perhaps more nuanced one intended for the older students in classes 9 to 12.
Right. Different levels of complexity.
Exactly, and each module is kept quite compact, spanning only about 8 to 10 pages. So they're manageable, designed to be integrated into existing curricula without being overwhelming.
Makes sense.
And the content itself, it goes beyond just detailing India's military achievements. It also aims to emphasize the significance of coordinated national security efforts.
What does that mean exactly?
It means explaining the intricate interplay between different elements, defense strategies, diplomatic maneuvers, interministerial collaboration, basically how various government departments need to work together seamlessly to address a national security threat.
Ah, okay. The bigger picture of national security.
Precisely. The aim is to provide a more holistic understanding rather than just a simplistic, blow-by-blow recounting of the military events.
That's a crucial distinction, I think. So this move is being positioned not just as, say, fostering a purely patriotic narrative, but also as a sophisticated pedagogical tool.
That seems to be the framing, yeah.
Designed to help students understand in a very practical sense how nations actually manage terror threats, how they engage in strategic defense. So by embedding Operation Sindoor into the curriculum, the goal seems to be promoting a deeper sense of civic awareness, maybe cultivating national pride, but also enhancing strategic literacy among students.
Strategic literacy, that's a good term for it.
It really highlights NSERT's ongoing and perhaps evolving role in shaping young minds through this kind of contextually relevant, issue-driven education that seems to respond directly to current national imperatives.
And what becomes quite apparent here is that this is probably more than just a standard history lesson.
How so?
It seems to be about inculcating a specific understanding of national resolve, of strategic thinking, right from a young age. These modules are intended, it seems, to familiarize students with concepts like national sovereignty, the nature of cross-border threats, and the complex, multifaceted responses required to safeguard a nation. It feels like a deliberate effort to create a generation that is not only aware of these key historical moments, but also understands the principles and the processes behind national security decision-making.
Which inevitably raises a pretty important question, doesn't it? How will these modules actually shape the next generation's understanding of national security and maybe India's evolving place in the world?
That's the long-term question, yes.
It's about building a foundational understanding of some critical geopolitical realities, potentially influencing their perspective on international relations and national identity for years, even decades to come.
It's certainly embedding a specific narrative early on.
Okay, from educational policy and national security within India, let's now turn our gaze outward to a different kind of regional tension, one that's demanding India's careful diplomatic attention right now.
Right, the situation on the Thailand-Cambodia border.
Exactly. We're talking about escalating border clashes between Thailand and Cambodia, and the situation sounds pretty dire. Reports are coming in of at least 32 fatalities already.
That many? Wow.
Yeah, and nearly 150,000 people displaced since the violence dramatically erupted just last Thursday.
That's a huge number of displaced people in a very short time. A major humanitarian crisis unfolding.
It is, and it's happening in a region that's absolutely critical to India's Act East policy. So India is, as you'd expect, closely monitoring it. And this reflects, I think, a proactive stance in safeguarding its own citizens amid these volatile regional dynamics.
What actions have they taken?
Well, the Ministry of External Affairs, the MEA, has already taken significant steps. They promptly issued travel advisories for Indian nationals who are either residing in or traveling through both countries.
Okay, standard procedure, but important.
Very important. These advisories urge them to avoid the border regions specifically and to consult the Indian embassies in both countries for immediate assistance if they need it. This level of responsiveness is really a hallmark of India's commitment to its diaspora, especially in crisis situations.
And they've been quite specific about the warnings, haven't they?
They have. On Saturday, Indian officials advised citizens in Cambodia to steer clear of the border areas because of the continued hostilities, emphasizing the unpredictable nature of the conflict right now.
Right, things can change quickly.
And then, a day earlier, on Friday, a similar advisory went out for Thailand, specifically cautioning travelers to avoid 7 affected provinces
7 provinces, okay.
and urging them to diligently check official updates, including those from the Tourism Authority of Thailand, which is obviously concerned about the impact.
Of course.
It really shows a layered approach, trying to keep their citizens informed and safe and adapting to the evolving situation on both sides of that border.
And beyond the immediate safety concerns, the situation has also seen a significant diplomatic breakdown.
Oh, really?
Yes, which reflects the deep-seated nature of this particular territorial dispute. It's not just a minor flare-up.
What's happened diplomatically?
Both Thailand and Cambodia have recalled their respective ambassadors.
Oh, okay. That's a serious step.
It's a very strong signal of deteriorating relations and a sharp escalation in diplomatic tensions. Furthermore, Thailand has unilaterally closed its northeastern border crossings with Cambodia,
Cutting off movement.
severely impacting local trade, civilian movement. And militarily, the situation is equally concerning.
Troop movements.
Yes, Cambodian military convoys have been observed heading toward the border city of Samrong. This clearly indicates troop mobilizations and a readiness for potential further conflict.
Not good signs.
No, these are all signs pointing towards a deepening crisis, something far beyond just a minor border skirmish.
So what's India's official stance on this, given their ties with both countries?
India's been very clear, emphasizing its long-standing friendly ties with both of these Southeast Asian nations.
Right, trying to maintain balance.
Exactly. The Ministry of External Affairs has consistently expressed hope that Thailand and Cambodia will work proactively toward halting the hostilities and preventing any further escalation.
Calling for calm.
Yes. The MEA spokesperson, Randir Jaiswal, has explicitly underlined the importance of diplomatic resolution. This clearly signals India's strong preference for regional stability through dialogue and peaceful means, rather than through military confrontation.
Makes sense.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, India's public messaging reflects a really meticulously calibrated balance.
How so?
On the one hand, they are unequivocally supporting their own nationals, ensuring their safety. That's paramount.
Mhm.
But at the same time, they're maintaining strict neutrality in the conflict itself. They're not taking sides.
A diplomatic tightrope walk.
It really is, and it's essential for a rising global power like India. It's also crucial to remember the economic ties that are at stake here.
Ah, the tourism factor.
Huge factor. Thailand is a major destination for Indian tourists. They attracted approximately 2.1 million visitors from India just in 2024.
2.1 million, that's a lot.
It contributes significantly to both economies. So this current unrest poses significant risks not only to that vital tourism sector, but also to broader regional trade and cooperation.
Right.
So India is watching these developments incredibly closely, not just for the immediate safety of its people, but also because of its broader strategic interests in Southeast Asia. Stability there is paramount for India's trade routes, its security partnerships, its growing influence. A stable and prosperous ASEAN region is really central to India's overall geopolitical vision.
So, beyond just the immediate safety of its citizens and those economic concerns, what are India's deeper strategic interests here in observing and maybe even potentially influencing stability in Southeast Asia?
Well, it's significant.
This isn't just about a popular vacation destination. It sounds like it's about a crucial geopolitical chessboard where India seeks to foster peace, maintain open sea lanes, build partnerships, all contributing to a more multipolar Asian order.
That's a very good way to put it, yes. Regional stability is key.
Okay, all right, let's shift gears dramatically now. Brace yourselves, because our next headline, it truly steps into the realm of the, well, the astonishing and the utterly miraculous.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
This is a startling incident reported from Bihar's Bataya district in India, and it genuinely defies easy explanation.
Yawn.
We're talking about a 1-year-old boy. His name is Govinda. And in a moment that just beggars belief, he reportedly bit a 2-foot-long cobra.
He bit the cobra, a 1-year-old.
He bit the cobra, apparently after mistaking it for a toy.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like something out of a fable, doesn't it?
He really does. So while playing at home in West Champaran, the toddler, Govinda, reportedly picked up this snake.
Okay.
And then in an act that can only be described as, well, astonishing, he bit it. And with such force, apparently, that he actually split the reptile in two.
He killed the cobra by biting it.
Killed it instantly. Witnesses describe the moment as just surreal and terrifying, a mixture of disbelief and sheer panic as they realized what had just happened.
I can only imagine. A toddler and a cobra.
And what would you expect to happen next after a child interacts so violently with a venomous snake?
Well, you'd fear the worst. A bite from the snake.
Young Govinda, understandably, fell unconscious, which, of course, just sent shivers down everyone's spines. He was immediately rushed to the hospital.
Of course. Urgently.
But here's the truly miraculous part of the story. Medical staff at the hospital intervened quickly, treated the child, and reports now confirm he is completely out of danger.
He survived.
He survived what absolutely should have been a potentially fatal encounter with one of India's most venomous snakes. It's an outcome that, frankly, medical professionals are still trying to fully comprehend.
That is truly extraordinary because the cobra, particularly the spectacled cobra, which is common in India,
Right.
that species is responsible for tens of thousands of snake bite fatalities annually across the country. Tens of thousands.
Yeah, the numbers are staggering.
They are notorious for their incredibly potent neurotoxic venom. If it's delivered, it attacks the nervous system, leading to rapid paralysis, respiratory failure, and ultimately death, often within hours if it's left untreated.
Terrifying.
So what makes Govinda's case truly baffling, and frankly a medical mystery, is the apparent lack of significant envenomation. How did he not get a lethal dose of venom?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Exactly. Experts are speculating on several possibilities. Maybe the snake, perhaps disoriented or already injured by the bite, didn't actually bite the child in return. Or perhaps it was what's called a dry bite, where the snake bites, but for whatever reason, no venom is injected. It happens sometimes.
Okay.
Another theory suggests maybe its fangs simply failed to deliver the venom effectively before the fatal injury occurred to the snake itself.
Right, the sequence of events.
The sheer improbability of his survival has left even seasoned herpetologists and medical practitioners just scratching their heads. It's that unusual.
This highly unusual event has, quite understandably, sparked widespread curiosity, awe, and maybe even some dark humor across social media and in local communities.
I bet.
Though it's obviously a tragic end for the reptile, Govinda's survival is being universally viewed as nothing short of a miracle, given the inherent and very well-known danger posed by cobras.
It really is remarkable. But beyond the sheer sensationalism, this incident also underscores a broader, more serious issue, particularly in rural India.
Which is?
The significant and some argue growing risk of human-wildlife encounters, snake intrusions into homes, especially during monsoon seasons when they seek drier ground, are unfortunately not uncommon in many regions.
Right, as habitats overlap more.
Exactly, as human habitats expand into natural wildlife corridors. So this raises critical questions about public awareness regarding snake behavior, and the urgent need for greater vigilance, especially in regions known to have high snake populations.
Have there been any official responses?
Well, authorities haven't issued specific preventative measures directly tied to this bizarre incident yet, but local residents are certainly talking about it, advocating for safer housing practices, things like better sealing of homes to prevent entry, and also for increased awareness campaigns on how to safely deal with snake encounters to try and avoid similar mayhaps in the future. Govinda's story, as bizarre and harrowing as it is, has undeniably captured national attention just for its extraordinary nature and the boy's almost impossible escape.
Here's where it gets really thought-provoking for me. What does this bizarre tale tell us about that fine, often quite precarious line between human spaces and wild habitats?
It's a blurry line sometimes.
And maybe it tells us something about the almost inexplicable instincts of survival we possess, even subconsciously, in the face of sudden danger.
Interesting angle.
It feels like a stark reminder of nature's unpredictable power, and perhaps the astonishing resilience of life itself, even in its most vulnerable forms, like a one-year-old child.
A very potent reminder, yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears again now to the intersection of culture, politics, and the often complex dynamics of national recognition in India.
Okay.
We're talking about some sharp criticism that's been leveled by the Congress leader, Jairam Ramesh, against Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
I saw reports about this.
The specific point of contention. It's the Prime Minister's notable silence on the passing of the acclaimed theater artist Ratan Thyam.
A giant of Indian theater.
Absolutely. He died in Imphal, Manipur, back on July 23rd, and Ramesh's criticism was, well, quite pointed.
What exactly did he say? He publicly called the Prime Minister's lack of acknowledgement insensitive and insulting to the people of Manipur.
Strong.
Very strong, especially considering Manipur is a state grappling with profound challenges right now. Ramesh accused Modi of effectively ignoring one of India's greatest cultural icons and, by extension, the region's grief. And he highlighted Thyam's stature. I mean, despite Thyam's profound national and international recognition, which is a testament to his immense impact on the arts.
He was highly decorated, too, wasn't he?
Yes, he received the prestigious Sangeet Natak Akademi Award back in 1987. That's the highest Indian recognition given to practicing artists.
Right.
Despite all that, Prime Minister Modi has apparently not issued any official statement, no tweet, no social media posts marking the playwright's death. And this silence, given Thyam's immense stature and the cultural significance of Manipur, has certainly drawn considerable attention and sparked quite a bit of debate.
And Ramesh didn't just point out the silence itself, did he? He seemed to really underscore the weight of Thyam's legacy.
He did.
Emphasizing that Thyam's unique contributions to Manipuri theater had earned him deep admiration, not just in India but abroad as well, making his quiet passing something that, in Ramesh's view, warranted genuine national recognition from the highest office.
A figure deserving of national mourning, essentially.
Exactly. And then the Congress MP explicitly linked Modi's silence to what he described as a broader pattern of disengagement with Manipur.
Connecting it to the ongoing situation there.
Yes, connecting it directly to the state that has been facing severe challenges, particularly the ethnic violence.
And what's truly compelling here, politically, is how the death of Ratan Thyam, this revered figure in Indian performing arts, has now become a poignant focal point in that much larger, ongoing political debate.
About the Senate's relationship with the Northeast.
Precisely. About the central government's relationship with and attention to India's northeastern states. Ramesh specifically highlighted the Prime Minister's continued physical absence from Manipur.
He hasn't visited since the violence started.
According to Ramesh, no. Since the devastating ethnic violence erupted there in May 2023, violence that caused widespread displacement, Loss of life, Prime Minister Modi has neither visited the state nor, apparently, has he met with its leaders or civil society representatives to directly address the crisis on the ground. So this critique reflects that significant, ongoing political tension surrounding the government's handling of the Manipur crisis, handling which has drawn widespread condemnation, particularly from the opposition, for what they see as perceived neglect and a lack of direct engagement from the top leadership.
And Ramesh's remarks really seem to underscore a growing frustration among opposition leaders, don't they?
They certainly articulate that frustration.
They articulate what they perceive as Modi's consistent indifference, maybe to Northeast India. Not just in culturally significant moments like Tayam's passing, but perhaps even more critically, during periods of significant humanitarian distress and deep-seated violence.
Right.
It helps form a narrative for the opposition, suggesting a kind of disconnect between the national leadership and the specific sentiments and struggles of certain regions.
And the lack of an official response from the Prime Minister's office, in this specific instance regarding Tiam, it does indeed fuel further scrutiny of the center's broader engagement with the state of Manipur.
Because Tayam was such a significant figure there.
Exactly. His legacy is being mourned deeply, not just by the artistic community and intellectuals across India, but particularly within Manipur itself, where he was a towering cultural figure. So the silence from India's highest executive office, as Ramesh suggests, is seen by many critics as emblematic of a deeper disconnect from regions like Manipur that continue to face both, cultural marginalization in some ways and severe humanitarian and political crises.
Right.
So this absence of acknowledgement, therefore, it kind of intensifies an already charged political atmosphere, and it really highlights the symbolic power of leadership's recognition or the lack thereof.
So wrapping this point up, what does this all really mean about that symbolic power of acknowledgement, the weight that a leader's silence can carry, and that potential disconnect between national leadership and deeply felt regional sentiment, especially in times of grief and ongoing crisis?
It means a great deal, symbolically.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it, even in its absence, about perceptions of care, of priority, and of genuine engagement.
Silence can indeed be very loud in politics.
Okay, let's transition now to something a bit more practical, perhaps, but incredibly important for literally hundreds of millions of people in India.
Right, everyday life stuff.
Exactly. Travel logistics. Specifically concerning Indian railways. Now, this massive network operates with strict, though surprisingly often overlooked, rules on passenger luggage limits.
Ah, yes, the baggage rules, always a topic of discussion.
And these aren't just, arbitrary guidelines thrown out there. They are apparently meticulously designed to ensure safe, comfortable, and smooth travel across its incredibly extensive network. A network which carries an astronomical number of people daily across vast distances.
It's a huge logistical operation, and you're right. While routine, really intrusive luggage checks aren't an everyday occurrence for every single passenger.
You don't get weighed every time.
No, not at all. But it's crucial for travelers to be aware that inspections can and do occur.
Where might you encounter them?
You might see them at major railway stations, especially those equipped with advanced scanners, often near the parcel offices where people book extra luggage anyway, or sometimes just during general security procedures, especially in high alert situations.
Okay.
And they become particularly vigilant, understandably, when items appear overtly large, maybe excessively bulky, or just look out of the ordinary. Because these things can pose safety hazards or logistical challenges on often very crowded trains.
Right, blocking aisles and such. And these limits, they're precisely tiered by travel class, aren't they? Which makes sense given the different space and fare structures.
Exactly. It's logical. So for general class passengers, the basic allowance is up to 35 kilograms of luggage, free of charge.
35 kilos, though.
If you're in sleeper class or third AC, you get a slightly more generous allowance up to 40 kilograms free.
40 kilograms.
For those traveling in second AC, the limit increases again to 50 kilograms free.
50 kilograms.
And if you're in the top tier, first AC, you enjoy the most generous allowance, which is up to 70 kilograms free.
70 kilograms, so quite a range depending on your ticket.
Yes, these allowances are designed to provide, reasonable space for personal belongings while also managing the overall load on the train.
So what happens if someone turns up with more than their allowance? Say someone in sleeper class with 50 kilos.
Right. If a passenger happens to exceed their allotted free weight, the official procedure for handling that excess is quite clear and established.
What should they do?
They must proactively book the extra luggage in advance. You do this at a designated parcel office at the station before you travel.
Book it like cargo.
Essentially, yes. It's a crucial step to avoid issues later. If you fail to do that, you risk incurring potentially significant fines.
Fines on the train.
Yes, fines can be imposed based on the amount of excess weight you're carrying and also the total travel distance of your journey, so it can add up.
Who enforces this?
It's worth noting that the train ticket examiners, the TTEs who check your tickets on board, and also dedicated luggage inspectors, they are fully authorized to enforce these rules during the journey. And they also pay particular scrutiny, as you might expect, to obviously oversized items. Things like large flat-screen TVs, really bulky suitcases, irregularly shaped boxes, things that can cause significant logistical issues, block aisles, or even pose safety risks in those tightly packed coaches.
Right.
So while the system isn't really designed to penalize passengers arbitrarily, it does require compliance with these booking procedures for excess baggage to ensure efficient and safe operation.
And this kind of disciplined approach, it really starts to make sense when you consider the sheer, almost mind-boggling scale of Indian railways.
That's nautical.
With literally crores, tens of millions of people traveling daily across thousands of trains, unregulated baggage would just quickly lead to overwhelming overcrowding.
Chaos.
Absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Significant delays, potential safety hazards. It's not just a minor inconvenience. It directly impacts the efficiency and the operational fluidity for absolutely everyone using the system.
And these policies really reflect Indian Railway's colossal effort to meticulously balance passenger convenience with rigorous logistical discipline.
A tough balancing act.
An undertaking that is pretty much unparalleled, given their scale as one of the world's largest railway networks. Enforcing these weight limits isn't just about collecting fines or revenue.
No.
It fundamentally helps streamline operations. It improves safety by preventing obstructions and dangerously overloaded coaches, and it ensures a smoother boarding and deboarding experience for all passengers.
So what's the key takeaway for listeners?
The practical advice is clear and pretty straightforward. Always try to consult the official Indian Railways guidelines before you travel, especially if you anticipate carrying heavy or particularly voluminous items.
Check before you pack.
Exactly. And booking that extra luggage in advance if you know you'll need it, it not only prevents potential penalties and annoying last-minute hassles, but it also genuinely contributes to the collective efficiency and better space management on board. It makes the journey more comfortable and ultimately safer for everyone sharing that space. It's kind of about collective responsibility for a shared resource.
That's a great way to put it. So beyond just avoiding fines yourself, how does understanding and adhering to these seemingly small rules actually impact the collective travel experience for millions of passengers every single day?
It has a huge cumulative effect.
It's about more than just your personal bag, isn't it? It's about contributing to the seamless, safe, and efficient operation of one of the world's most vital and certainly most heavily utilized transportation networks.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps maintain the system.
Okay, for our final headline today, we're going to take a journey way back in time. Not just hundreds of years, but hundreds of thousands of years.
Ape history.
To a truly ancient and frankly quite chilling revelation. Spanish archaeologists have uncovered startling and rather disturbing evidence of child cannibalism.
Child cannibalism. Wow.
Dating back an astonishing 850,000 years.
850,000 years ago, where was this found?
At the Grandolina cave site in Atapuerca, which is in northern Spain. A very significant archaeological site.
It is indeed. Atapuerca has yielded incredible finds. So what exactly did they find related to child cannibalism? This profound discovery centers on a remarkably well-preserved human neck bone. Specifically, it's been identified as belonging to a child aged between 2 and 4 years old.
The very young trunk.
Very young. And the species is Homo antecessor.
Homo antecessor. Remind us of their significance.
They are of immense significance in the study of human evolution. Homo antecessor is currently believed to be the last common ancestor of both us, modern humans, Homo sapiens, and Neanderthals.
So a critical juncture in our lineage.
Exactly. Finding such direct evidence, especially from a child of this pivotal species, provides an unparalleled, albeit grim, window into the behaviors of our very distant past.
And the evidence itself, you said it was grim and unsettling?
Yes. The bone exhibits precise, unambiguous butchery marks.
Butchery marks on a child's bone.
Yes. These marks clearly indicate that the child was decapitated and dismembered, essentially processed in a manner eerily similar to how any other prey animal would have been prepared for consumption.
That's deeply disturbing.
It is. Dr. Palmira Saladi, who is a co-director of the excavation, explicitly emphasized the anatomical precision of these cut marks found on the vertebra.
Precision.
Yes. She noted that they point directly to an intentional disarticulation of the head. This reveals a surprisingly advanced understanding of anatomy and quite sophisticated butchery techniques among these incredibly early human ancestors.
So this wasn't just random violence.
Yeah.
It implies method, intention.
That's what the evidence suggests. This finding adds a truly startling and profoundly complex dimension to our understanding of prehistoric behavior.
Had cannibalism been found at Grandalina before?
Yes, previous excavations at Grandalina had indeed shown signs of cannibalism, particularly among adult Homo antecessor remains. But this is the first clear, irrefutable evidence involving such a very young child.
Right, which raises different questions.
It does. Researchers are now left to explore several speculative motivations for such a practice involving a child.
What are they thinking?
Well, it could have been driven by sheer survival needs a desperate measure, perhaps, in times of extreme resource scarcity, famine conditions.
Survival cannibalism. Okay.
Or, perhaps more disturbingly, it might have been part of some nascent ritualistic behavior. Though the exact motivation remains intensely speculative, there's just not enough evidence to say for sure. It's open to further research.
Either way, the implications are profound.
They really are. It paints a far more complex and perhaps unsettling portrait of early human social and survival dynamics. It suggests that cannibalism among these ancient hominins was potentially not just a random or purely opportunistic act driven only by starvation, but rather may have been embedded somehow within the established behavioral framework of the species, which really challenges our prior assumptions about their social norms and behaviors.
It really forces us to confront the harsh, often brutal realities of ancient life, doesn't it? The kind of stark choices our ancestors might have faced just for survival in their daily struggles.
Absolutely. And what's truly compelling here, scientifically, is how this discovery further bolsters Homo antecessor's significance in the grand narrative of human evolution.
How so?
It offers extraordinarily rare biological and cultural clues about the behaviors, the capabilities, and perhaps even the desperate adaptations of our early ancestors. It gives us a unique window into a time we otherwise know so little about.
So the cut marks tell us more than just about cannibalism.
Potentially, yes. For example, they not only indicate cannibalism, but they might also provide indirect evidence about the types of stone tools they were using at the time and their increasing dexterity in using them.
Interesting technological insight too.
Exactly. And as research continues at Atapuerca, scientists hope further analysis will shed more light on whether this instance of child cannibalism was, an isolated incident driven by extreme circumstances, or if it was part of a broader, perhaps more common pattern in prehistoric human behavior.
Which would fundamentally reshape our understanding.
It would fundamentally reshape our understanding of early human societies, the development of human morality, our survival strategies over millennia.
So wrapping this up, what does this incredibly ancient and undeniably chilling discovery truly tell us about maybe the darkest, most challenging aspects of our own evolutionary past? And perhaps prompt us to reflect on how far, in terms of both survival pressures and ethical development, have we really come in those hundreds of thousands of years since?
It's a profound question.
It's a question that certainly lingers, doesn't it? Reminding us of the profound and sometimes deeply uncomfortable journey of humanity.
Indeed. A sobering glimpse into the deep past.
And just like that, we've navigated an incredible range of topics in this deep dive, haven't we? Really covered some ground.
We certainly have, from the cricket pitch to ancient caves.
Exactly. From the nail-biting finishes and that profound resilience we saw on the cricket pitch, all the way back to the ancient, chilling revelations uncovered in that Spanish cave. We've touched on the strategic importance of new educational modules in India, the absolutely astonishing tale of a toddler and a cobra.
Still processing that one.
Me too. And then complex international relations playing out in Southeast Asia, right down to the surprisingly strict but necessary rules governing Indian railway travel.
Each headline, really in its own distinct way, has offered a unique nugget of knowledge, hasn't it?
Definitely.
And as we've sort of explored them, understanding these diverse stories, I think it helps us connect the dots across very different facets of the human experience, both contemporary and ancient.
Yeah.
It truly paints a much richer, more nuanced picture of the world we actually inhabit.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe consider this thought. How do all these daily headlines in all their disparate forms, A sporting drama, a policy change, a border skirmish, a bizarre incident, a political critique, a travel rule, or an ancient discovery. How do they collectively contribute to that grand, ongoing narrative of what it actually means to be human?
The bigger story.
Yeah. What it means to survive against the odds, to learn and adapt, to connect across vast distances and even across immense stretches of time. And how we continuously redefine our understanding of the world and maybe even of ourselves through these
It's a
events.
constant process.
It really is. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and definitely keep diving deep into the world around you.